Hiya! Today I've got quite a busy video for you, so I won't do a massive introduction, but I'll be talking about my favorite materials from 2024. Chances are it will be split into two videos because there's a lot of it. And even the first section that I'm going to talk about, which is my favorite sketchbooks, I could easily make a video dedicated just to sketchbooks and paper. Let me know if you'd like more information about it, because I definitely have a lot of my favorites and a lot of maybe not so favorites, but yeah, I would love to share more if you'd like to know. But yeah, so be prepared. This will be rambly and long. I hope you will enjoy it, and I'll see you on the other side, and let's get to it. So I couldn't talk about sketchbooks if I didn't mention, I think, my most used sketchbook by far, which is the Royal Talents Art Creations. And I've used it in multiple different forms and types of paper and whatnot. I just love it for the fact, I used to think it was expensive, but considering the thickness of the paper and the fact that it's got quite a lot of pages, as you can see here. They do buckle if you use wet media on it, but I don't mind too much. Yeah, so it's not that expensive when you think about the number of pages and compare it to maybe other brands. I think it's an affordable option, and I have gone through quite a lot of them this year. If you'd like to see my sketchbook tours, I will link them up below, and yeah, you can check them out. But they come in so many different forms and sizes and so on. I'll tell you about the paper first. So it's a mixed media sketchbook. It has 80 sheets of paper, and yeah, again, the paper sizes are very different depending on what your needs are. You can pretty much find anything that you might wish to use, any size. They're always 140 GM or 94 lbs, I can't remember how to read that, acid-free. And the most common art creation sketchbook is this off-white stock. I used to hate it, I could not get past it. I used it, I had this first, I think this was my first art creation sketchbook, and I love the cover because it's nice and soft. But it took me quite a while to fill it up, and in the end I decided to do really low effort, not low effort, but lower stakes art in it. And that's, I think, when I started enjoying using it, because there's so many pages, and I divided each page, if you've been here a while, you've probably seen this, into 4, or rather, it's spread into 8 squares, or rectangles rather. And I fill them up. This was a part of my 100 squares project. So that gave me 8 times 80. 8 times, yeah, 80 squares. If you think of it that way, that's quite a lot that you get for your money. But this is watercolor, it handles watercolors, art graph, yeah, so it does handle quite a lot. I used to try colored pencils in it a lot, and that wasn't maybe my favorite thing to use in it, which is why I didn't like it that much. So yeah, it comes in so many different sizes. They all have a band, so you can hold your pages secure, which I absolutely love. I don't know why not all sketchbooks have it, but I think it's the best feature. And they have a little bookmark, so you can mark where you are in the sketchbook. And yeah, they also come, so this one is the white paper. It's a bit different stock. It works slightly differently, and maybe buckles a bit more, but it's still alright. I used it for like quick sketches mostly. I don't really like this stock. Weirdly, ironically, I loved the white paper, and I don't like the white paper in art creations, but I'm starting to get rambly, and there's a lot more to go through. What I love about them is that you can get different colors of the covers, and I'll show you like a quick preview of the ones that I have. And they're not all the sketchbooks that I have from them, it's just a selection of like all the different colors of covers. I absolutely love this cover color, lilac. I think it's my color. And the mint one. They're all beautiful. So yeah, really fun. I'm going to move it out the way. Okay. I also love caddy papers, and they come as sketchbooks, or they come as sets of small sheets of paper, or like bigger sheets of paper as well. There's a zigzag, so you can have like a concertina sketchbook. I usually tend to not fill them up. I don't know why, it just feels, I know it's like not very expensive, but it feels more expensive. I don't know why. I guess it's handmade and it has a nice feeling to it. I don't know. I tend to not use them a lot. But when I do, I always enjoy it. The granulation of watercolors on these papers is beautiful. So if you've never tried it, maybe like get a tiny pack. They're like a few pounds each if you get a small pack of the smallest size. And then you can try them out. I love to distress. So you can like pre-wet the paper and just drop some granulating watercolor or ink in it. And it will just explode on the page. It's really fun. Another one that I absolutely love, and I'm definitely getting more of, is this Midori notebook. I know it says notebook, but it really, I treat it as a sketchbook. It's a Japanese brand, and it really handles like markers and pencil really nicely, and Tombow brush pens. They really pop on this stock, even though it's off-white, slightly off-white, a bit less than the Art Creations. But they really, really pop. I don't know what it is about this paper. It's super smooth. And I don't know, I just really like it. And the ink looks really nice on it. Yeah, overall, Midori paper is one of my favorite papers. It was a little bit pricey in UK. I can't remember, it was like 11. No, I will lie if I say the price. But it was a good few pounds. But it's quite a thick sketchbook. I forgot how many pages it has. It's like fountain pen friendly. This one's A6 and it's blank. I prefer my sketchbooks blank. So yeah, I recommend it if you never tried it and would like something new. It works nicely with Tombows, and especially the lilac one really looks really nice on it when you layer it. Anyway, let's move on. So there's also another brand that's a bit harder to get in UK. You kind of have to order it online from Singapore. It's Mossery or Mossery Co. I'm not sure how you say it. And they make beautiful sketchbooks. They are flat lay flat sketchbooks, and you can pick any type of paper basically. You can pick mixed media, regular, you can have grid, dotted, you know, all kinds of paper. I always go for blank. And let me just see if there's anything I can share with you in it. This is more of an idea journaling kind of sketchbook. But even like this was Tombow brush pens. It handles quite a lot, to be honest. The colored pencils are okay, but maybe not the best in it for some reason. But like I drew comics in it. Really nice. And even though it felt a bit pricey because you have to pay for postage from Singapore, the postage is extra quick. Like it arrived way quicker than I expected. The covers are interchangeable. I'm not quite sure what this is for. I guess for like putting in stuff in here. But you can take off the cover and you can exchange them, and it's got an open binding. And the covers you can buy separately, so if you don't want to spend money on the covers, you can just get the sketchbooks themselves, and if you don't care about the outer cover, then yeah. But they're like nice and hardback. I would tell you all the stickers, all the stickers are by, but there's a lot of sketchbooks I already showed, and I think it's quite a lot, so I will skip that in this video. But if you look at any of my sketchbook tours, I think I always mention them. So, or if you're really curious, let me know the timestamp and I'll tell you in the comments. And this is another one from Mossery. This one was designed by Archu in a collab. So often they work with, well, I think all of them are collabs with different artists. And yeah, Archu made some really beautiful covers, and I hope I get all of them before they run out of these, because I love her artwork. This was my favorite, so I picked the best kind of covers. I think she made 3 and I have 2. But it handles, this one's watercolor paper. It was a bit more, like you have less pages for the price, but it's really, really nice. Like this was my first try, but you can see how nice the watercolors look in it, even though I'm not like the most experienced. Like they just, I don't know, they just look really lovely. This is another example of Caddy. I was just experimenting, so you can use colored pencils on it. But anyway, this is gouache, inks. Yeah, just basically anything you can think you can throw at it, and it's quite good, and they are beautiful. And at first I thought they were really pricey, but if you get a few in a batch, like if you buy them in bulk, they, considering especially the thin paper, this is really thin paper, but it handles quite a lot. And you can see my sketchbook tours of this sketchbook type, and it handles quite a lot of media, and some of the colored pencils work really well in it. If you think about the number of pages, I can't remember now how many there are, and I'd have to like, maybe I'll pop it on the screen, but there's a lot. There are a lot of pages in this one, so I think it's really worth it when you think about price per page. I think I need to speed up. I will also quickly mention Winsor & Newton. I have a couple sizes. It's alright. It was an inexpensive one that I picked up in a shop, and yeah, it does the job. I like that you can tear out the pages, although I never really do, but if I really wanted to scan something cleanly, you can. Not too much to say about it. I'm not a massive fan of ring bound, but it does the job. It's like a quick sketch kind of sketchbook, an idea sketchbook. This one, I took off the binding, the ring binding, because I was scanning these pages, and I kind of never put it back together because I have a few pages I haven't finished, and I can't be bothered to do it twice. But it handles media really nice. This is a visual journal by Strathmore, my new love. If it wasn't a bit on the pricey side, I would be buying it all the time. Although for watercolor paper, you get quite a lot for the price. Like there are 68 pages. So it's not too bad, but it's a weird watercolor, and I've heard people say that they weren't like impressed. But I think it's the vellum, although this one doesn't say it's vellum, so I'm not quite sure. They all often make them look very similar, and I'm not entirely sure whether they're vellum or not. Doesn't really say. Anyway. It's really nice, slightly textured paper. It handled my inks beautifully, and because I could take off the binding, I was able to scan them really like easily. And I think on this page you can see sometimes you get a bit of a imperfection. I don't mind it too much. I think it adds to the, you know, it's handmade. Like this is hand painted, so I'm not too bothered with that. And it's kind of like a hardcover thing, sketchbook. Next, we have an honorable mention of, I don't really use it much, but whenever I do, I'm impressed with the quality of paper. I think I started too many of these, and they're all unfinished, and they've all been started quite a long time ago, which is why I kind of stay away from them. I think this video is already quite long, and I'm only on Sketchbook, so I'm going to speed up. So this one's Sea White of Brighton. It's a UK brand. I think it's like a local business. And this one was recycled, made using coffee cups, using cup cycling. And it's an artist paper, vegan friendly, A4 size, 140 GSM, so just like Art Creations. 40 pages or 80, I think it's 80 sheets rather than 20 pages. Made in Britain. Yeah, it's quite nice. This is quite a mixture of things. studies and things like that, character design. Like this is graphite, water-soluble graphite, watercolors. I can't get anything to stick in this sketchbook. I think it's the washi tape problem. And yeah, I went through a lot of experimentation in the sketchbook. I quite like the quality of it. Like I've been drawing my graphic novel pages in it, and every time I try something like ink in it, I really love it. It's quite inexpensive. Like every time I see it, I buy a couple because it feels so cheap, and you can get it in different sizes as well. Then we have a beautiful sketchbook, which is handmade. It's by Odd Orange, and I have a few of their sketchbooks. This one is my current. I'm trying to finish this one off at the moment. I also have a couple different ones, but they're all basically the same stock. It's nice with graphite, watercolors, gouache, Tombows brush pens, like anything you can imagine it probably handles. Ink and nib. It's really smooth. It's all hand bound and it's all hand finished. So everything you see here was made by hand by Morgan, who's the owner of the business, of the Odd Orange business. And she just really does it, like she handpicks the end papers and makes sure that all the, all the like details are perfectly matching. Like the color matching on it is really nice. It's 80 pages. This one's mixed media. It's cloth bound and 190 GSM, so just a tiny bit more than the previous sketchbooks. But yeah, it's really nice. It's kind of like a lay flat. I'm not sure if this one was a B grade item that she was selling for slightly less, but most of the time, like most of them, just lay really nice and flat, which I really love. So yeah, really lovely sketchbook. And this one is the Onion Skin Journal. I really love it. It's a bit pricey to get, especially in the UK where you have to pay for postage because it's a brand in the United States, so the postage from there always costs a bit more, but it handles pretty much anything you can imagine. Like anything you throw at it, it probably will handle it all right. Sorry for the live drawing. Like inks, watercolors, gouache. Try and find something that's not forbidden by YouTube. And I love this sketchbook because it has a lot of pages. Another live drawing, sorry about that. So yeah, I just really like it. And I've done a sketchbook tour of the first half, but there's still quite a few pages. I think I slowed down towards the end because I don't want to not have it anymore, like not have the 3 pages anymore, but I need to just use it and maybe buy a new one when I run out. I got this first one for, I think, my birthday, and they're all like engraved. They also come with a nice finish. Not sure if they're handmade, but probably because of the binding. It's kind of lay flat, maybe kind of fill it up. It's kind of a lay flat. I would call it lay flat. Okay, so we're done with the first section of the video. That was almost done. I also have this handmade sketchbook from a local artist, and I don't know if there's a name. There isn't a name, so I don't know anymore who this is. I picked it up at the local university show, and it's imperfect, but it's like recycled paper, so this person used some offcuts. There are different types of paper. I just think it's a really cute idea. I mean, it's a bit, maybe slightly too rough for me, but overall, I love this. And it's been the cover has been made using some natural ingredients. I can't remember, like plants probably. And it's handbound. I think it's a really fun sketchbook. Okay, now it's time for graphite. I use graphite in all shapes, forms, sizes. If you can draw with it, I probably tried it, and I thought I've picked out a couple that I like, but I do buy graphite like I'm a serial graphite buyer. I don't know why. I don't use it as much as, I don't know, you'd think that I use it a lot if you saw how much graphite I have, but I don't. I think the main reason is that it smudges in the sketchbook and you have to put papers in between the pages, and sometimes I just want to move quickly and not worry about that. So I think that's maybe why. So let's start with this one. This is a Kohinoor hard move graphite stick. I can't remember, I think I picked it up in Poland on my holiday because I went to Kohinoor shop in Wrocław, or how, if you English, you probably say it Wrocław. And it's a 4B. It's quite a thick one, so I only use it for like rough sketching, but I really like the softness. It's a really nice graphite. I also have this Stabilo Aquarelle. It's not aquarelle. It's not really graphite. It's like a pencil that writes on any surface. It's Stabilo O. And it's really nice and smooth. I just like sketching with it, to be honest. I tried it on glass and it wrote on glass, but it's not great. I just love the fact that I can sketch with it lightly and it gives a really lovely texture. But it kind of is very quick to use up, so not the most, I guess, cost-effective pencil. Then we have Pit Graphite Matte, and this is the highest B value that I could find. It's by Faber-Castell, and it's the softest pencil I could find. If you know any that's more than 14B, let me know, because I just love the softest the better. The softer the better. Yeah, just graphite. Loads of different B pencils that I use. And then this one I discovered. I was in London, and I think, yeah, that was on my art retreat in London, the mini art retreat that I did earlier this year, which you can watch here on YouTube as well, link below. This one's expensive, and when I was picking it up I was in two minds, but I was going to the live drawing class and I thought I could do with a new pencil just to like make it more interesting, I guess, and exciting. I don't know what it is about graphite. I guess graphite feels boring, but it isn't to me. And this is an 8B, I believe. It's rubbed off a bit. And honestly, this is the most cost-effective graphite pencil I ever had. This graphite lasts a long time. Even though it's soft, you can draw with it forever and without sharpening. So I think it was very well worth the cost. And I love it. And when I run out, I will definitely buy a new one. I also love mechanical pencils. I was obsessed with them for a bit. And this type of pencil, I've seen it online in so many different shapes and forms and brands, but it's always the same look and feel. So I think if you look it up, you don't have to go to Muji. Just look up like mechanical pencil. This one comes from so many different brands. I think maybe one factory somewhere makes them. It's 0.5. This one's Japanese from Muji, so I picked it up in London, but yeah, I think you can get it from anywhere. And I like to put soft graphite as well in the mechanical pencil. This one is a Rot Ring by Tiki. Again, I don't think it's anything special. This one's 0.7, and I love this one because I put blue graphite in it, and it's a really nice soft graphite. I think it's the Nano Uni Nano, I think. Yeah, again, I could talk about graphite forever, so I'll spare you this because it's already quite a long video. But yeah, I love graphite. If you want more recommendations, I can do a dedicated video. I just don't know if people are that interested in just graphite. Let me know. Any other freaks out there who love graphite, let me know. And whenever I use graphite, I also very often use highlighter pens. There's something about like just the dull gray color of graphite and really nice pops of color. I don't discriminate. I would use any highlighter pen. Some of them are a bit more patchy on a certain paper type than others, but you know, you won't know because like in a single pack, like maybe in Stabilo pack, for example, I had 4 different colors or 3 different colors, and one of them was a bit patchy and the rest of them were brilliant. So you just have to experiment. I used to use them for hand lettering back in like 2016 or 17. So it's been quite a few years that I've been buying these. And I used to just treat myself to a pen or two every month, like when I had some spare cash, when we still use cash more than we use it nowadays. And nowadays, if I go to an art supply shop, I just pick maybe 1 or 2 each time. So I don't spend a fortune each time. I did buy a pack of them when I had a voucher from work. But overall, yeah, they are quite on the pricey side. They're like $3.30, about £3 each. So on the pricey side, although absolutely love them and I will keep buying them forever, I think. Tombow, if you ever want to sponsor or send me any marker pens for testing, I would be up for it if you're there. The 3 favorite colors at the moment are 026, 623, and 679. So at the moment I'm using these. These are in my like everyday pouch that I use, but I also have been using this brown quite a lot, 947. What happens with these is the numbers wear off with use. Somehow when you hold it, they wear off, and I really need to add, so I add some tape, like see-through tape on it, just to preserve the numbers, because it's nice to know if I want to replenish it, like replace it with a new color, new pen, I will know what to get. And another color I've been using quite a lot is 126. So this one, I think these 3. So these 3 or something like that. I use this in my 3-color sketchbook. Really love that color combo. And they are a brush pen on one end. It's like a felt brush pen. They do wear off depending on which, what type of paper you use it on, and I'm quite rough with them. If you're quite careful, they will last quite a long time. And honestly, until the ink runs out, even if I'm rough, it's not the biggest problem. And you have a fine nib as well. And I have quite a lot of them, and some of them I realized that I wasn't going to use for like making artwork with. Maybe I wasn't that experienced with color when I was buying them, and I didn't know that they weren't as useful. So often I would just use this end to sketch with, just in the same way as I use Ecoline, sort of like doodling with them. And yeah, I love them. Absolutely love them. I'm not sponsored, but I could be. What's next? Another surprise is these Kidea marker pens, brush pens I got from my aunt in Poland. I think they're like a small shop kind of brand. I've never heard of this brand before. It's by Derform, and I believe they're made in Poland. And they are similar to Tombows. The colors maybe aren't as accurate on the packaging as they are on Tombows, but I would say they're kind of comparable. So if you can ever get your hands on these, I would, because they're not bad. Not sure about light fastness, but one thing to mention with Tombow brush pens, they are definitely not light fast. 100%, they fade over time. And I even noticed it in my sketchbooks. Some of the colors are very quick to fade. So if you make artwork with them, it's not the kind of media that you can use to make finished pieces. And if you want to preserve it, you need to scan it quite fast, or like within a few months. Otherwise, they will fade. So yeah, this is really fun. Really cool discovery. They're very what's it called? Pastel colored. Really fun. What we have next? Watercolors. So with watercolors, I have quite a few favorites, even though I don't use them that much. I try to pick a couple pans because otherwise, yeah, we're already going to be here all day, aren't we? I feel like we should make the end of part 1 in a minute because, yeah, it will be too long. So I have 2 pans that I picked out. There's obviously a lot more. And I have some like tube paints. I should probably get them out because they are quite nice and I wanted to mention them. So the ones that I wanted to mention are Holbein Artist Watercolor. They're very expensive. So this is like 5 milliliters and it was quite pricey. It's Payne's Grey. And I really like this Lilac. Again, by Holbein Watercolor Artists. I hope when I'm in Japan they won't be as pricey, but I think they might still be a bit too expensive for me. So I might pick one or two, but I probably won't get a whole set. They're really nice though. And I got this Random Grey special edition from Schminke from last year. They every year at the end of the year they just mix all the remaining, what's it called? Pigments, and they make this special Random Grey, and it's a one-of-a-kind kind of paint. It's not the nicest grey like paint because obviously it's not controlled in any way, but I like the fact that it's random and you know only a handful of people in the world have it, maybe more than a handful, but you know what I mean. Once it runs out, no one has it ever. I quite like that. It wasn't too expensive. It was actually quite affordable. So yeah, I have these. These are Rosa Gallery. What happened here? Ah, a paint dried off in this pan. That's weird. That's very weird. I mean, it happens sometimes. So these are Rosa watercolors that I picked. I think I picked these up in Poland because I remember picking up this gold. And these bigger pans, or more squared off pans are Roman Szmal, which is a Polish brand. These 4 are made by a Polish company by hand. It's... oh, I forgot the name. Something... color... completely forgot. I don't think they have names on them. The red, I'm not sure where it came from. It's probably from a different pan or I mixed it. And I'm not sure what the brand of this is. It doesn't have a name, but it's your standard pan. You can kind of have it on your finger kind of thing. And earlier this year I won a giveaway by Jackson's Art, I think it was. Yeah, Jackson's Art. It's their monthly giveaway thing where you paint something or draw something and tag them, and you can take part in their giveaway. And I won these. This is a set of urban sketching by Roman Szmal. It's a standard kind of pan. I think I added like an extra pan here, a grey, because it was lacking grey, and I think I added a couple. I must have added this green, I think. Maybe? I can't remember, but I customized it to my needs. Like I added a couple extras, and you can always add some in the middle if you need to. So it's kind of a versatile. You can add a brush pen here, or you can add a little sprayer thing that I've lost now. There's a bit of mess on my desk now. But yeah, really nice paints. All of them quite nice. Roman Szmal. It's pronounced Roman Szmal. I know a lot of people say Roman Szmal, but it's Szmal. It's a Polish name. And Rosa Gallery, really beautiful paints. Yeah. I think let's end it here and we'll get to the part two. Like, I recorded now, but yeah, I think it will be too much if I make it too long. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what was your favorite from the ones I showed, whether you'd like any more information on any of the things that I mentioned in this video. Yeah, what were your what were your favorite art supplies this year? Do you have any? Are you just starting out and you don't really know where to start? Maybe this video helped you, I hope. And yeah, I hope you have a lovely day artsing. And until next time, bye! Ta-da! Thanks again for watching. Now on the screen you should see a link to the next video or playlist if you'd like to continue watching videos with me. Enjoy!